How flexible are you? Because that's what I want to talk about today. The power of flexibility. You see, true power doesn't lie in our rigidity, but in our ability to adjust when life demands it. The world will constantly change, will shift, but when we embrace flexibility, we can ride the waves instead of drowning in them. When we stop resisting what is, we gain the freedom to create what can be. You see, we have this thought pattern in our mind, and we've been utterly brainwashed to convince that we need to be right. And we're going to hold that thought pattern no matter what. And you know what? That thought pattern, it's just an opinion. I don't know about you, but the world is changing really fast. It's changing faster than I've ever witnessed before. And the way that I keep my calm is I'm flexible to each moment. I ask the question, why do I need to feel I'm right? Especially when I'm talking to someone else, because I've really come to the understanding you're not going to change anyone's mind on anything, ever. The best that you can do is plant a seed of question. And if you plant a seed of question, maybe, just maybe, they'll ask it and they'll seek a different answer. But that's the best you can do. That's the best you can do. I've given up on the idea that I can fix my wife, my children, my granddaughter, anyone. Given it up. And you know what? Because I don't have that, I'm flexible to whatever and whoever they are in the moment, whatever they're experiencing. And then I adjust to that. I adapt to that. See, when the river's flowing, there's all sorts of obstacles that are there. What does the river do? If there's a big enough obstacle, it just goes around it. It doesn't try to beat it. You know, there's a big boulder in there. The river's not going to stop and say, I got to get this boulder out of here. No, the river flows around it. Keep in mind, from that analogy, go to the analogy that all you are is energy. And when you're rigid, you stop the energy from flowing. Think about that. What is one of the biggest causes of heart problems? When there's blockage in a vein, in an artery, so the blood cannot flow. See, everything is meant to circulate. Everything, air, blood, food we take in must come out. And you start to look at life, and it's always about birth, life, and death. Birth, life, and death. Guaranteed, you were born and you will die. What you do in the middle, that's your choice. I would highly advise you start to consider flexible. Being flexible with how you view life. And ask the question, how can I get the most out of this experience? And remember, you're never going to have a life where you feel good all the time. If you believe that, I'll just say this, it's not going to be fun. Because life will always challenge you. It's what life does. You can't grow without challenge. You can't become more aware. You can't experience the juice of life without the contrast, without the challenge. So knowing that, why not just embrace it? And then when the challenge comes up, accept it's a challenge. How am I going to move now? That's a flexible way of being. That way of life will cause you so much less grief, stress, and tension. Ergo, a greater sense of well-being. This topic is not an easy one. It's not something that happens overnight that you develop flexibility. It's a constant process because it seems that every challenge we get is a little bit bigger than the one before. And I think that's life just preparing you to be greater and be more flexible. With that, It is a great day to be alive and flow like the river. Don't let that boulder block you. Much love.